everyone! So for today's video I'm going to be talking about how I kind of stayed vegan, how I got over my dairy addiction, which I definitely had, and just kind of explaining that. I also want to thank Ultimate Zen. A very sweet girl emailed me and sent me a bunch of cute necklaces, and this one is an amethyst one, like so OG. I'll talk about it more in my favorites video, but thank you so much, girl! I'll put the Etsy shop in the description. So as maybe some of you guys know, before I was vegan, I was a vegetarian. When I started YouTube, I was vegetarian, and I was always like, I don't know, a vegetarian advocate, I guess. I was all like, oh, I'm saving the animals and stuff, like I'm not eating their bodies, but I was still promoting the cruelty of dairy and stuff. And by this video, I'm not saying that if you eat dairy you're terrible and you deserve to die. I just want to tell you a little bit about how I get over my dairy addiction. And yeah, I know a lot of people, I get a ton of Tumblr ads that are like, I can't stop eating cheese, I can't stop eating mac and cheese, I can't stop drinking milk, all of this kind of stuff. So I wasn't going to film this video, and then I was talking to my friend Stella, if you guys don't know her, how, but she is also a YouTuber on here. And I was like, oh my gosh, when I first went vegan, I felt like I couldn't do it because I was so addicted to cheese. And she was like, yo, you should make a video on that because all of my Tumblr asks are like, I can only be vegetarian. So I was like, true, so thanks to Stella for inspiring this. But one of the main reasons why dairy is very addictive is because it has something called casomorphins or casomorphine, and Stella actually made a really good video explaining why dairy is addictive, so I'm just gonna link her video because she is way better at explaining sciencey things than I am. But basically there's something in dairy that makes it very addictive, and it makes you want to keep eating it because it is meant for baby cows. I mean, if baby cows didn't like the milk that was meant for them, then they wouldn't keep growing. It's meant for the baby cow to drink it and be like, bitch, this shit's good as a fuck. And so that the cow just keeps drinking it and gets to its big size. And once it's old enough to not need milk anymore, then usually I think drinking milk makes most animals sick. So when I first went vegan, I was very like, oh, I'm just gonna try this for a couple weeks. Like, I don't really know if I can do it. Like, vegetarianism is right for me. And I was doing fine the first day. I was like, okay, cool, you know, this is cool. You know, I'm doing this whole vegan thing. And I was trying out vegan cheeses and I was like, all of these fucking suck. I miss my regular cheese. And then it got really bad. The second week, I would not be able to fall asleep at night because I was thinking about cheese. Like, I think that I had literal withdrawals from dairy, and it was insane. I couldn't fall asleep because I was so sad. I was like, oh, I miss cheese so much. I need cheese in my life. I miss, like, dairy products and stuff, and it was a problem. Like, it was not okay. And so I was dealing with this, and I was literally watching vegan YouTubers. I was going on to like YouTube and searching struggling with veganism and just all of this stuff because I thought that I physically could not be vegan. I was like, I'm so addicted, like, what the heck? And not that many people had made videos on it, and most of the people that had made videos on it, they were like, oh, I'm no longer vegan, like, I just can't. And I didn't want to quit being vegan because I believed everything that veganism stands for. You know, I just didn't want to go back to that, and I wanted all the health benefits. I wanted to help the animals and save the planet and not be addicted to dairy anymore. Basically, after the second week, all of that stopped, I guess, and I started finding new substitutes, and I started finding really good vegan food. And something that really helped me was finding vegan versions of the stuff that I used to love before I was vegan. For example, pad thai. If you guys follow me on most of my social medias, it's basically like a joke that I love to eat pad thai, and every day I eat it. Well, not really, but it's always on my story, it's always on my Instagram, just pad thai everywhere. And so I found really good vegan restaurants that had pad thai without oyster sauce and without eggs and stuff like that. So I started finding really good vegan food. I found like Daya mac and cheese, which is so good. Some of Daya's stuff is like, girl, but a lot of it is so so good. Like, the mac and cheese gives me life. But I started finding other substitutes as well. I started eating vegan pizzas, and then I just started eating enough because the first week that you go vegan, you might feel a little bit weird. I was like hungry but full at the same time, and I couldn't get full, and I was just like really mad about that. I was like, I just want to be full, like what the fuck. So I started eating enough, and also when you first go vegan, your body's just trying to get used to the fiber, so you might feel a little weird. But after finding all the good vegan substitutes, especially like chow cheese, I feel like I'm maybe like re-addicted to just vegan dairy alternatives, but it's so much better than being addicted to actual dairy, if you know what I mean. But I also watched Cowspiracy, and as soon as I watched that, I was like, I am staying vegan, I am never going back, and I know this is good for my body and for me and for the environment, and it's just what I want to do. Basically, I went over to Stella's house, and she was like, yo, like, we should watch Cowspiracy. I've never watched it before, and I was like, that sounds good, but also I was a little skeptical. I didn't want to see all the graphicness that was in it, and it's not even that graphic. It's like a little bit, but you kind of need that to get the point across to your brain. So I watched that, and after seeing the cows being like just treated so terribly, and all the animals too, the pigs, the chickens, everything, and the blood coming off of the, I don't know what they're called, udders of the cow after being milked because they were being milked so hard, I was like, I can never go back to dairy products. That's just terrible. And Cowspiracy is just so good in the way that they show their facts. They have really good visuals, and I love visuals. They were just huge graphs and just showing all the facts, and they showed how they talked to all these other environmentalist clubs and how all of them were like, oh, the meat and dairy industry doesn't really have anything to do with it, and then they showed all these other facts and debunked literally every argument that meat eaters have against vegans, and it was just beautiful and amazing, and I loved it. And after I watched that, I was like, I am sticking with veganism, and now I'm doing totally fine. I don't have like cheese cravings unless I'm like extremely hungry, which is dangerous. Don't let yourself become undercarbed. And I don't want to touch cheese or milk or even meat. Obviously, I haven't eaten meat in over a year, and now vegan for like 4 months, and I'm doing totally well. It's amazing, and I definitely think if you are struggling at first that you can get over that. If I can be vegan, literally, I used to eat ice cream as meals. Drumstick ice cream was my favorite, fried chicken was my favorite, hot dogs were my favorite. I liked every single animal product basically, and I am vegan and I am thriving on veganism, and I just feel so good, and I found so many alternatives, and I just eat as much as I want to, and my body looks good, my poops are good, I smell good, I look good. Like, if I can be vegan, I seriously feel like anybody on this earth can be vegan. Like, y'all, fried chicken was my favorite food. Like, chicken lasagna was my favorite food, and I am a successful, happy vegan today. So, long story short, if you are struggling with veganism, just keep going. The first couple weeks are a little weird. Your body's like, ooh. And I would also recommend watching those graphic videos that you don't want to watch. I did not want to watch those. I was like, that is so cruel. I don't want to see the animals being treated badly. Like, that's gross. I don't want to see that. But you need to see those to make the connection in your head that this is not okay to do. Like, just seeing how the cows and the pigs and the chickens are treated are what made me stay vegan and just stay a successful, happy vegan. Even if you don't want to see them, I would recommend just watching them, and just watching them a couple times, even watching different videos, searching why the dairy industry is bad, and seeing the cows, like, and all the stuff they go through. And also just imagining, like, me as a woman. If you guys don't know, in the dairy industry, what they do is they basically rape the cow, the mother cow at least, and until she produces a calf, and then once the calf is born, they take the baby away from her and steal her milk, and then I think the calf gets killed for veal or raised to just go through that system again. As a woman, imagining that happening to me, being raped and then having my child taken away from me and just having to go through all of that also is like the main thing that helped me stay vegan, because that is literally terrible and no animal or human should have to go through that, and it honestly just breaks my heart that it happens so much today. That is basically how I broke free of the dairy addiction. I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me on Tumblr, on Twitter, just in the comments below. Any social media that I have, you can ask me questions and I'll try to get back to you. I've been getting a ton of like Twitter DMs and like just DMs everywhere, so it's been taking me a little bit to get back to everyone, but I'm trying really hard. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope that this helped you guys. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!